Hello once again and welcome back to the channel. My name is Andy and today we're on to part 3 of the Classic Cars and Motorsport series, and today we're looking at the 1992 Williams FW14B, the car that took Nigel Mansell to his one and only Drivers' World Championship. Before we get on to the actual episode itself, shall I say, I'd like to thank you once again for watching. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button as well, give me the thumbs up if you're enjoying what you see, and leave a comment below of anything you'd like to see moving forward in the future. When we get back to the car in question today, you can see it on the screen from the photo I've taken within the F1 2017 game. It is the distinctive yellow, blue, white and red liveried Williams FW14B. This was the car, as I say, it took Mansell to the Drivers' World Championship, the Red 5 taking its one and only driver's title in 1992. And it was a car that's seen as being the most technologically advanced car that the sport has ever seen. This car was a development of the 1991 FW14, designed by design guru, as he's now known as, Adrian Newey, after he had joined Leighton House the year before. The potential of the car and all its gizmos had even stopped Mansell from retiring from the sport. He had decided to retire from F1 at the end of the 1990 season after a dismal time driving for Ferrari. But the potential of this car seen him come back to the sport. The 1991 season was a tricky one for the team, with many reliability issues with all the technology on the car. And it was no surprise to see the 1992 car being an evolution of the year before. But when it worked in 1992, by God did it work. With semi-automatic transmission, active suspension, traction control, the car was rumoured to even have ABS for a short time as well, with some aero genius from Newey and a 750 horsepower V10 Renault engine. It was no surprise to see the car dominate the season. In fact, dominate the season so much it did that Mansell would have the title wrapped up by round 11 at the Hungaroring, taking 9 wins on his way to his championship winning year. That was a record at the time. The car taking 10 wins in total, with Patrese winning at Suzuka. The car would also take 15 pole positions, with only the magic of Ayrton Senna bucking the trend, with 11 fastest laps out of 16, 6 times the podium was locked out, 10 times on the front row between them, and a total of 21 out of 36 podiums. It's no surprise that even though Patrese didn't like the active suspension, that the car dominated so much. Further proof of the domination of the car came at qualifying for the British Grand Prix, which seen Mansell 2 seconds faster than Patrese, who in his own right was a second faster than Ayrton Senna and the McLaren. So that's 3 seconds between Mansell and the third place car, the first of the non-Williams cars, which is just mind-boggling to even think of these days. And it seemed like this might be the continuation of a partnership that came to an end previous between Mansell and Williams, but come the end of the 1992 season, things unravelled once again. Despite the team taking up both Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, both drivers would leave come the end of the season. Mansell left for what would be a successful first season in the kart series in America, winning the title in his rookie year, while Patrese would join the Benetton team. Things had become unravelled during the year, Mansell writing in his autobiography at a later date that the team had gone back on a deal made previous, while Williams said that the demand from the driver, Mansell himself, in terms of salary was much too high. Williams had also signed Alain Prost, who had retired temporarily and been enticed back for one more go for the 1993 season, and it's rumoured he had been signed by the team as early as round 2, and the team didn't bother to tell Mansell. Nigel was obviously not too happy about this, and the idea of playing second fiddle to Prost again, which he did at Ferrari, the whole reason why he nearly retired from the sport, didn't really appeal to him. It was a very public spat as well, something that was to be repeated in later years almost with Damon Hill in 1996. But for the 1992 season, that didn't matter, and the car was just supremely dominant. The only reason that McLaren were able to keep up in any length away was due to the magic that was, of course, Ayrton Senna at the wheel of that car. But as always, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick 5-lap race around Silverstone this time. Last the first challenge, and we're doing Silverstone because, of course, Mansell Mania was in full flow in 1992. Forget Beatlemania, this was the F1 equivalent, and in 1992 it was in full force. The sight of the fans spilling onto the track at the end of the race after Mansell took the victory is something that you always see when you look at pictures of past British Grand Prix. So we're going to get straight into it right now and see just how well we can do behind this technological marvel. So here we are on the grid with the 5 red lights going out. We are starting last as always, and away we go. 5 laps around Silverstone. This is obviously the new version of Silverstone. It doesn't have the older style track which had bridge corner, old style cops was the start, and all the rest of it, club and everything. As you can see, the choice of the F1 game just dive right up the inside of about 6 of them in one go. Lovely. So we're already up to P13 and we've not even made it down the Wellington Straight, which is absolutely beautiful. And we're about to take 12th there as well as we get a good run out of there. Coming down towards the infield section now. We're deep on the brakes as we go into Brooklands, and then into Luffield. This used to be a double right-hander back when Mansell won in 92, and this would have been the old start and finish straight. I use explanation quotation marks with that one, so obviously as you can see it's not straight with Woodcote Corner. Going for cops, we back out of it and we stay in 11th for now as we come up to the phenomenally fast Beckett's Maggots section of the track. Even now it's still seen as being a phenomenal part of a motorsport track. Now my findings from the car itself while driving was, even with setup changes, very understeery. Understeered quite a bit. As we get past an R1 down into Stowe. Especially at high speeds, you know, low speeds really, really good, probably helped by all the sort of gizmos it would have had. But when you got to the higher speed sections, like try to go through cops or through Baggots and Beckett's, can't even say that, it didn't seem to want to turn very much at all, which I found quite strange personally. I thought with all the gizmos and all the aero, it would be very, very planted through the fast sections, but hey, there you go. But the car has suited Mansell's style better than Patrici's. In fact, Patrici even reverted back to the non-active suspension setups. We dived down the inside there into Brooklands, because for his driving style he didn't like the way the active suspension worked. He preferred the more understanding setup from a normal passive suspension. So Mansell though loved the active suspension. It suited his aggressive driving style, and it was just absolutely brilliant. Speaking of aggressive, look at this. Oh, there we go. Through Maggots and Beckett's side by side through the first part. Fantastic as we go into church. And we're already up to 7th, which is good. But Mansell loved the car. It suited him well. He was able to make the active suspension work the way it should be. It's no surprise that he dominated the season. I mean, the car was going to dominate anyway, but it's no surprise Mansell, with his driving style, was able to make it work as he did. Obviously at the end of the year he left for America, won the kart championship in his first year, which meant at the time that he won it he was champion in both series, because F1 hadn't crowned Prost as its new champion by that point. So Mansell was the only driver to win both titles back to back, the only driver to hold them at the same time. That's probably something we'll never see again. But we're now on to lap 3 of the race. We're up to 6th at the moment, doing really well. So we come back round towards Brooklands and Luffield. And it's just, despite the nuances of the car through the fast speed corners, it was actually really enjoyable to drive. It's a good drive. Takes a couple of laps to get used to, get a decent setup, but once you do, the benefits are there for all to see. And you know, the speed of the car is fantastic, and it's no surprise that the FIA banned half the gizmos from the following season. You know, traction control outlawed, ABS was obviously stopped, active suspension was stopped. It was classed as being a driver aid because it kept the car at an optimal ride height no matter where you were on the track. Whereas actually, more than anything, it was a performance enhancer, so to speak, which Williams tried to fight, but they were unable to. So, but the FW15, the next season's car, still won the championship with Prost, albeit not as routinely, so to speak, as Mansell did in the year before. We're at the 6th place and we're on to lap 4 now. Thought about a wee cheeky look down the inside there, but decided against it, and it's put me out of position here. And I've got that other car just behind me, keeping him behind as well. So we come down the Wellington straight one more time. And one more time into Brooklands. I love the Silverstone track. It's fast, it's flowing. Even in this new setup, it's still got such well-known famous corners. We obviously mentioned Maggots and Beckett's a couple of times, Copse Corner we're coming up to now. Even Luffield, the last corner there, is known quite well just because of the name. You know, Stowe at the end of Hanger Straight, as we're about to go side by side through it again. Oh, ho, ho. Putting a lot of faith in the AI car there, that's for sure. But we are through into 5th. Of course, everyone remembers back in the turbo days, 86 I think it was, or 87. Mansell and his then teammate Nelson Piquet down here with a double swerve, and then the pass down the inside, having pitted for fresh tyres and turned the boost up. Everyone thought he was going to run out of fuel, but he kept it together and won that race as well, and it's still seen as a fantastic overtaking move even now in 2018. But we're around to start the final lap. You can see we just set the fastest lap of the race, and we are in 5th. So 5 laps up to 5th. Can we steal a couple more before we get back round to the finish line? Got a good run through the first part of the infield section here, and hopefully I can get a good run onto the Wellington straight, but you can see the car ahead just getting the power down better than me, making it very tricky. As we come up to Brooklands, hard on the brakes, and we pull right up so I'm able to carry much more speed through there. We take the wide line through Luffield, the wet weather line, trying to get the run out of the corner towards Copse Corner. Not a normal overtaking place here, but we're going to chuck it down the inside. Side by side, but we hold it together. You can see him in the rear view mirror there as we just hold on for dear life through the corner. Final time through Beckett's, Maggots, and into Church, and down the famous Hanger Straight one more time. I don't think we're quite going to be able to catch 3rd place, just out of reach. We're going to need a good run out of Stowe to be able to catch this one, and I don't think we're quite going to get that. Let's see. No. So 4th place is where it's going to be. It's still a good return from starting last. Made up a lot of those places early doors. Took me a few attempts in this car, I must be honest, because trying to get past is really tricky sometimes. But there you go, 4th place in the fastest lap, and it's been another great video. Thanks very much for watching. Till next time, ta-ra.